students, we are going to discuss today our new topic in the series of networking. Already in the networking series I have made so many videos. If you have not watched them, please go and watch them. Today I have made a video on the topic called networking device. Let us see what we have in this video. As you know that the networking devices, first of all we are going to discuss the basic definition, what do we mean by networking devices, and then one by one what is a list of networking devices we need to make our network a successful one. So without wasting much time, let us start with the video. First of all, what is a networking device? Networking device is one of the hardware component. It is not the software, but it is a hardware which is required for the communication. In case of network, we know that it is made up of at least two computers. To make this two computers a physical communication possible, you need some devices. Unless and until there are two computers, apart from these two computers, you need some additional components also. Two computers itself are not enough. So these additional devices which we will need other than the computers will be called as networking devices. And why do we need them? For what purposes do we require them? We need them for the communication. We are connecting computers for communication, and next for the interaction between the hardware. For this two purpose we need the networking devices. Let us see one by one which are the list of the networking devices required. The very first in the series of this one is hub. What is a hub? A hub connects multiple computers and the devices using the cable wires. Previous to this, I have already made the video called wired communication and wireless communication. There are two types of communication possible, wired and wireless communication. If you have not watched that video, you can just refer that so that you get a better idea. But the hub is a device which is used in the wired communication, and that too in the LAN network. Now what is a LAN? LAN is a network which is limited to a small building or one office which is not exceeding more than the 10-kilometer range. So if you have a network setup which is in a range of 10 kilometers, you require a device called hub. The role of the hub is to connect all these computers, and not only that, it also amplifies the signals which are coming through the long distance. See this diagram over here. This is your hub which is installed here. This hub is a device which is needed for installing each of the computers. You have computer 1, you have computer number 2, you have computer number 3. You can keep on extending the number of computers as you require, but for each of the computer there is an Ethernet cable wire at the back of the CPU. At the back of the CPU there is an Ethernet port. These wires which you are able to see, all these are Ethernet cable wires. And here in the CPU, at the back side of your CPU, you will find the Ethernet port. There is a cable wire which is having the Ethernet port which is coming from here. Back side of the CPU there is Ethernet port. Ethernet port is here also available. So we will have one Ethernet port connected in each of this CPU. So where are we going to put the second endpoint of this Ethernet? The second end of this Ethernet port which is coming from each of the CPU will be installed here in the hub. That is the role of the hub in the local area network. But not only this is the role of the hub to connect the computers in the local area network, there is one more role of it. When the computers are passing the signals, when we connect the computers, of course there is a role for connecting it, there is purpose for connecting it. We assume that this PC number 1 is transmitting some data to PC number 3. When it is passing from PC number 1 to PC number 3, you can see there is connection between 2 also and 3 also. So what will happen in this case? The data will not directly come from PC number 1 to PC number 3 directly. It won't be received from PC 1 to PC number 3. In between, the PC number 2 will also receive. If there is another computer called PC 3, 4, 5, 6 in the LAN, we are having around 30, 40, multiple computers are there. So what will be the disadvantage with the hub is not the intelligent device to detect that it has to deliver the message to which computer. In between all the computers which are connected with this LAN network, it will pass the message to all the computers. The computers which are not supposed to receive them, that is PC number 2 which is not supposed to receive right now, will simply drop your message and at last it will be received to the PC number 2. That is one disadvantage with the hub device. So we say that hub is used to connect the local area network, but the disadvantage is that the signal once transmitted from any one computer will be transmitted to all the computers even though they are not supposed to receive it. So to resolve this problem, we have introduced another device which is called as hub, and you can see in the definition it is written, a switch plays a more intelligent role than the hub. How is it intelligent? In the sense that if computer number 1 is sending and computer number 3 is supposed to receive the signal, in between the 2 will not be supposed to receive it. It will directly send to 3 only. Otherwise the lookout of the hub and switch is same. When I will show the diagram, you will get the better idea. The look is same, functioning is same, only thing is it differs in the functionality, that again it is a multi-port device as it was there in the hub also. Hub is also a multi-port device, but point is it improves your network efficiency. How does it improves the network efficiency? Backside, I am just going back to my previous slide so that you get a better idea. In this case, suppose we imagine that this PC number 2 is sending some data to PC number 1, and at the same time PC number 3 is also sending some signal to PC number 2. Since it is a network, any computer can send data to any computer. There is no limitations in sending the data. When two computers are simultaneously sending the data, PC2 is sending to PC number 1 and 1 is sending to 3. Like this way, when multiple devices send data simultaneously, there will be traffic jam, plus it will create the confusion also to the hub, that to whom. Like this way, when multiple devices are sending the data simultaneously, it will create the traffic jam in the case of hub, because hub is not an intelligent device to detect that it has to transmit the data to which computers. In between, it will keep on passing the data to all the parallel computers also, and all computers will keep on dropping the message as they are not supposed to receive it. That is why the traffic jam issue will come. So for this purpose, we have introduced this device called switch, which is called as an intelligent because it will simply detect that to whom it has to deliver the message. That is why we call it as an intelligent device. And how does it plays its role? The switch maintains a routing information. What is this routing information is? There is an address called MAC address for every computer. This MAC address is stored in the tabular form. It maintains a table of every computer, and through this MAC addresses, the switch will receive the MAC address, and directly the MAC address will be taken, and to that particular MAC address only it will be sending the data to that computer. Let us see the diagram to get the better idea. See, in this case that you can see that there is one computer, one laptop, another laptop, and in between there is a switch. So you can say device 1, device 2 and device 3. There are 3 devices which are connected with the help of switch. This time we are not using hub, we are using switch. Now when this computer number A, PC A is requesting, there is a request coming from PC A. A switch is so intelligent, this device is switch which is look-wise same as that of hub. There is no physical difference between the switch and hub, but functionality wise it will differ. As you can see in the diagram, there is no connectivity from switch to B also. There is no connectivity between switch and C also, which was there in the case of hub. When hub was requesting the data, it was transmitting to B also and it was transmitting to C also, although they were not supposed to receive it. But here the switch is so intelligent that if A is requesting the data, it will find the MAC address of the A and it will deliver the packet only to the A. So directly the receiver will receive the packet. That is the role of the switch. Only the receiver will simply receive the data, and this is how the switch and hub differs in their role. The third in the series is router. As the name says, router, if I drop the last letter R from the spelling, if I drop the last letter, it becomes root. What do we mean by root in the English? Root means the path from the source location to the destination location. In our real world also we are having a route fixed from one place to another place. If I am wishing to go from Surat to Baroda, there is of course a fixed route by which I have to follow that route and then only I will reach. If I don't follow that route, I will end up reaching somewhere else. Instead of reaching to Baroda, I may reach to some another city. Same way in the network connectivity also, between the computers which are connected, there is a route table maintained. Whichever computers are connected, their routes are maintained with the help of the route table. The role of the router is to simply transmit the packets to the destination computer. The one who is requesting is called the source computer and the one who is supposed to receive is called the destination computer. And how is it sending to the destination computer? Through the sea of the interconnected network, using the various networking topologies. What are various networking topologies? It will be taught in the next videos, but simply the role of the router is to find the best possible route, as we follow in our daily life also, that you have your home location and from your home location to another area there are two possible routes to reach that location. What you will prefer? Of course you will prefer the shortest location. Same is the role of the router. The router will check that computers are connected through the multiple cable wires, so there is 2-3 possibilities to reach from source computer to the destination computer, but the router will decide the shortest path so that the information is reached in the least time period. But at times we see that in our real world also, the daily route which you follow, which is the shortest one, is sometimes under the construction work, or there is some kind of problem on the road due to which you are not able to go on that road. The road is blocked. So what you will do? You will of course find the second alternate way and you will go ahead. You will not keep on waiting for that road to be free. Similar function the router is also supposed to do. At times when there is one route busy due to the network traffic jam, like the CBSE is declaring the result, so one of the route is line is busy, the person will not keep on waiting for that line to be busy. The router has to find the second possible route and the data has to be transmitted to the destination location anyhow. The fourth in the series is bridge. As we know that the bridge simply divides your one location into two equal parts. what are we doing when we make a bridge? When we make a bridge, your whole segment or your area is divided into two equal part, the left part and the right part. Same is the function in the case of LAN also. LAN will also, in case of LAN also, when you install a bridge, your whole LAN connection gets divided into two equal segments. So that is the first line stating bridge is used to connect the two or more host or network together. The basic role of the network is to storing and forwarding the frames between the different segments to the bridge. And once I give the explanation, you will get the better idea. See the diagram coming, which will make the concept clear. As I told you that the bridge will simply divide your whole network into two equal parts. When we also make the bridge, what happens? Your bridge is made this way, which is dividing it into two equal parts, your left part and your right part. Same way here also it is doing the same thing. Once it is bridge installed, your whole LAN network is divided into two equal parts. You can see there are 4 computers over here and 3 computers over here. So first thing is, when we install a bridge, the network gets divided into two equal parts. Now the question comes is, why are we dividing it into two equal parts for this? In the starting of the video, I told that when the one machine is sending the data, that time what happens? We imagine that this is the very first node in the series of the computer. All computers are connected with one another in the line. In the queue, the computers are connected. When this computer is sending the data, it will keep on passing in the series from here to here, then it will come here, here, at last it will reach over here. That is the normal case without the bridge. But this will simply make the internet connectivity extremely slow, because there are numbers of computers connected. Right now in the diagram we have demonstrated only 7 computers, but we know very well in our school campus also, a normal school campus also comprise of 40 computers at all. When one computer is sending the data, unnecessary 39 computers will receive the data, and they will see that I don't have to receive the data, it will keep on dropping. This computer is sending the data, this one is supposed to receive, so in between it will keep on passing to this also. This one, it will check that I am not supposed to receive, it will drop it. This will simply make your network connectivity speed reduce. With the help of bridge, what are we dividing? We are dividing our LAN into two equal parts. That is, we will assign one called 1, 2, 3. The another one will be called as 4, 5 and 6. With the help of bridge, what will happen? Now this bridge will check that if there is any data to be transmitted among 1, 2 and 3, if there is any request coming in such a way that 1 is requesting the data for 3 or 2 is requesting from 1, in that case there is nothing to do with 4, 5 and 6. So at least half of the computers are not getting disturbed. Similarly, if the 6th computer is requesting any information from 4 or 5, the other 3 computers 1, 2 and 3 will not be disturbed. So this way our internet connectivity speed is saved to a greater extent. Only at times when suppose the 6th number computer is requesting some sort of command from either 1, 2 or 3, that time it has to travel this whole circle. Otherwise the bridge will be very much helpful, because it is dividing your whole network into two equal parts, and this way when the first half is requesting the data, the second half LAN will not be disturbed at all. Next we have a device called gateway. What is the role of the gateway? The name says gate, which means you will be entering into something with the help of gate, as we are allowed to enter. Similarly, in the case of network also, you are simply allowed, the gateway simply allows you to serve as an entry point to something. Now what is this entry point, or what do I mean by? So what the gateway is simply used to connect the different devices which are not following the same topology. If you have a connection at your home in which all the computers are using the same IP address, the concept of IP address is a bit complex. If you want to know the more detailed knowledge, you just write it in the comment box, I'll give you a knowledge. But when the computers are communicating with the help of the same IP address, the router itself is enough. But when the computers are connected with the different IP address, you need a device called gateway. So you can say gateways are used to connect the computers with the different IP address. From one device to the another device, when you are transmitting the data, first you need a gateway which will be giving you the entry, and after this you will be allowed to transmit the data. That is what the gateway is supposed to do. The gateway will be used when two computers are using the different protocols. Protocols will be taught in the completely separate video. See, here is the difference between the gateway and the router. Gateways and routers are simply both used to control and regulate your traffic. Routers are also used to regulate the traffic, as I explained in the beginning. The router will find the best possible route. Same way the gateway will also find the best possible route. But as I told, router is simply used to connect the similar type of network. Just the best example, everybody is using the router in the home, because in your home connection all the computers are working on the same IP address. But when you go beyond the home connection, out of home connection, your IP address will change, and the network which is not in the home premises, that IP address is different. So there the protocols are differing. As soon as the IP addresses will change, the protocols will also change. In that case, you require a gateway. As long as the two devices are working on the same protocols, the router is enough. But once you work on the two different types of protocols, you require a gateway. That is the difference between the gateway and the router. This is the physical look of the gateway. This is how the gateway looks. It is more similar to your modem. The next in the series is modem. Is derived from the two separate words called modulator and demodulator. The first two alphabets MO stands for modulator, and the later three words DEM stands for demodulator. You have the idea that computers are working on the digital signals, and until and unless the data is in the computer, it is working on the digital signals only. But the two computers are not connected without the cable wires. Two computers are there, but among the two computers you have an Ethernet cable wires. Now this Ethernet cable wires are understanding your analog signals. Computer understands your digital signals, and the fiber optics or the Ethernet cable wires which you have applied to connect them understands your analog signals. So it is not directly possible to transmit your digital signals through the cable wire analog signal. For them we require a translator called modem. The first part, modem will transmit your computer digital signal into the analog signal, so that this Ethernet cable wire can take the signal and put it to the receiving end computer. Till the receiving end, the data will be moving on, and finally when it reaches to the receiving end, it is still in the cable wire which is in the analog form, but you have to again feed it into the computer. For that, the reverse processing is done, which is called as demodulation. From the cable wire, it has to be converted back into the computer digital form, which is called as demodulation, so that computer can understand. That is all about modem, modulation and demodulation. This is the diagram of your modem. There are two types of modem available. One is if you fix it inside the computer itself, it is called as internal modem, and the one which is kept outside the computer is called as an external modem. Next is your repeater. The word repeat means something which you are doing it again. Already the sender has sent the data, the receiver has received the data, but there are full chances that when the data is transmitting over the longer distance than the 100 meter. If the distance is coming in the short distance of 100 meter or less than that, the frequencies are good enough, the speed is fast, and you don't require a repeater. But when the distance of the data exceeds 100 meter, that time the frequencies may keep on varying from high to low and low to high, and there are full chances that the data frequency may go high and low, low and high. See this diagram, you will get an idea. This is the person who is sending the data, this is the person who is supposed to receive the data, and this is the frequency which is going up and down, up and down, up and down. Now when this frequency keeps on varying from high to low, low to high, you are supposed to install a repeater. The repeater helps to re-amplify the signal so that the data transmits to the receiving computer. This is where we are installing the repeater when the data is coming from the distance more than the 100 kilometer. Thank you for watching.